Most parents think that when their teen lies, it's a serious character problem. But in reality, some types of lies are quite normal during the teenage years. And depending on how you respond, you can unintentionally make your teen lie more, not less. In this video, I'll walk you through the 5 types of lies teenagers tell and the one type that most parents misunderstand and often respond to in the wrong way. Now, just to be clear, lying isn't something we want to encourage. Honesty matters, but not all lies are the same. Treating them the same way is a bit like going to the doctor and getting the same treatment for every symptom. It doesn't solve the real problem. And when teens lie, it's usually not random. There's a reason behind it. Once you understand the type of lie you're dealing with, your response becomes much more effective. I'm Daniel Wong. I'm a teen coach and I specialize in helping teens thrive. As we go through the 5 types of lies, you'll notice that there can be some overlap between them. But this framework will help you see the underlying pattern more clearly. Let's start with the first type, convenience lies. Imagine this. You ask your teen, "Have you finished your homework?" Your teen says, "Yeah." 1 hour later, you realize that was a lie. Your teen has not finished the homework. Now, in many cases, your teen isn't trying to deceive you in a serious way. It's about avoiding the situation temporarily. Your teen knows that if they say no, it's going to lead to more questions and maybe a lecture. So they take the easiest path in that moment. That doesn't make it okay, but it does mean that this type of lie is usually a low-level lie. What can you do as a parent? Instead of interrogating or repeating the same reminders, shift your approach. For example, instead of saying to your teen every day, "Have you finished your homework?" you might tell your teen, "I'm not going to check on this every day. But if your grades drop below a B average, we'll need to have a discussion." Now you're shifting from micromanaging to accountability. Here's another example. Instead of saying to your teen, "Why did you lie to me again?" try saying something like this. "If you don't like me asking you what time you'll be home, I can respect that. But I still need to know you're safe. Let's come up with a better way to handle that." Now let's talk about the second type of lie, which goes a bit deeper. Type number 2, independence lies. Here are some examples of things your teen might say to you. "I've already taken care of it. I don't need help. It's fine." But underneath that, what your teen is really saying is, "I want more control over my life." Independence lies often show up when teens feel like they're being supervised or monitored too closely. So instead of pushing back directly, they create distance through what they say. To your teen, this isn't just about the task. It's about autonomy and control. And when teens feel like they don't have enough control, they often push back indirectly by lying. So I encourage you to look for ways to give your teen more ownership. For example, you might say to your teen, "I believe you can manage your schedule on your own, so I'll give you space to handle it. In a few weeks, we can talk about how things are going." Now, sometimes it's not about control. It's about something more personal. That brings us to the third type of lie, privacy lies. For example, you ask your teen, "What happened at school today?" Your teen says, "Nothing." Or you ask, "Who are you texting?" And your teen replies, "No one, it's nothing." This can feel frustrating, but most of the time, your teen is just trying to protect something that feels personal to them. During adolescence, teens are developing their identity apart from their parents. They're figuring out who they are, what they believe, and how they relate to others. Part of that process involves them needing some emotional space. So as a parent, instead of pushing for immediate answers, focus on keeping the door open. For example, you could say something like, "You don't have to share everything right now, but if something is bothering you and you want to talk, I'm here." If you're finding this video helpful so far, please click the like button. And please subscribe to my YouTube channel so you don't miss out on future videos about helping teens thrive. The next type of lie is the one most parents focus on. And it's important, but not always in the way we think. Type number 4, cover-up lies. This is when your teen says, "No, we didn't drink. I wasn't there. That didn't happen." In these situations, your teen is usually trying to avoid consequences. The real issue is usually the behavior, not just the lie. If your teen broke a rule or made a bad decision, that's the main thing that needs to be addressed. Once again, I'm not saying that cover-up lies are okay, but it's important to focus on what matters most. Sometimes, parents say things like, "I wouldn't have been upset if you were just honest." But sometimes, this can send a confusing message. It suggests that the bad behavior or choice is less important than the dishonesty. But in some situations, the behavior itself is what really needs to be addressed. When you bring up the issue with your teen, be clear and calm. The main issue here is what happened, not just what you said about it. Have a conversation with your teen to understand what happened, then follow through with appropriate boundaries and consequences. There's one more type of lie we haven't talked about yet. This is the one you really want to pay attention to. Type number 5, compulsive lies. This is when lying becomes a pattern. Your teen lies even when they don't need to. They might lie about things that don't give them any advantage. Sometimes, the lie actually makes things worse for them. For example, maybe your teen tells a story about something that happened at school, but some parts of the story don't quite add up, or they seem exaggerated in a way that makes your teen look better or more impressive. Or maybe your teen insists on something that is clearly not true, even when there's no real benefit to them. You might tell your teen, "I just spoke to your English teacher and she said the test is next week." But your teen still says, "No, the test was today." This is despite the fact that there's no obvious reason why your teen would stick to that version. At this point, the issue isn't just about avoiding trouble or gaining independence. It may reflect deeper patterns like avoiding responsibility, feeling pressure to appear okay or in control, low self-esteem, anxiety about how they'll be perceived, or a habit that's becoming automatic. Over time, this kind of lying can become a default response. And if it's not dealt with, it can become a more serious issue over time. As a parent, here's what to keep in mind. This is not the moment to panic or to label your teen, but it is the moment to take this pattern seriously. Here are the steps you can take. Step 1. Address the pattern, not just the incident. Instead of reacting to each lie in isolation, zoom out and help your teen see the bigger picture. If you only address one incident at a time, your teen may feel like they're just in trouble yet again. But when you point out the pattern, it becomes a conversation about growth and responsibility. Step 2. Stay calm but be firm. You might say to your teen, "I'm not here to attack you, but honesty is important and this pattern needs to change." Your tone matters just as much as your words. If you come across as angry or frustrated, your teen is more likely to become defensive or to double down on the lie. But staying calm doesn't mean being passive. You want to communicate two things at the same time. "I'm on your side," and "this is not okay and it needs to change." This combination of being both calm and firm is what builds respect over time. Step 3. Make honesty safer but not consequence-free. You could say something like, "If you tell me the truth, we'll deal with it calmly. There may still be consequences, but honesty will always lead to a better outcome." Some teens lie because telling the truth feels too costly. They expect their parents to react with anger or disappointment. But if you react strongly to every lie, your teen learns that telling the truth is like stepping into a storm. So they start looking for ways to avoid it. The goal is to reduce that fear without removing accountability. Step 4. Reinforce honesty when you see it. For example, you might say, "I appreciate you being honest. I know that took courage." When your teen tells the truth, especially in a difficult situation, don't just move on. Pause and acknowledge it. It's natural for parents to focus on their teen's mistakes, but the behavior you focus on tends to grow and multiply. You're trying to help your teen build a new identity where they think to themselves, "I'm someone who tells the truth even when it's hard." Even a brief acknowledgement can make a big difference in shaping that habit in your teen. Step 5. Look beneath the behavior. Ask yourself, does my teen feel safe admitting their mistakes? Are they afraid of disappointing me? Are my expectations unrealistic or unclear? Compulsive lying is often a surface behavior with deeper roots. Your teen might be trying to avoid feeling like they failed, protect their self-image, cope with pressure or anxiety, maintain a sense of control. So alongside addressing the behavior, it's important to understand what's driving it. Because when you address the root cause and not just the symptom, you're far more likely to see lasting change. So just to recap, not all lies are the same. Some are about convenience. Some are about independence. Some are about privacy. Some are about avoiding consequences. And some are compulsive lies that represent a pattern that needs to be broken. If you treat every lie the same way, you'll either overreact or miss what actually matters. When you understand the type of lie you're dealing with, you can respond in a way that helps your teen grow while still maintaining clear expectations and boundaries. Let me ask you this. Does your teen lack motivation sometimes? If so, I have a resource for you. It's this free ebook I've written called 16 Keys to Motivating Your Teenager. Visit daniel-wong.com/ebook to download the ebook today. The download link is also in the description. And here's this other video I've created about the proven 7-step system every parent should be using to raise a motivated and responsible teen. In the video, I explain exactly how the system works. You'll find the video useful, so watch it next.